Welcome to today's Polkadot Open Gov video, where I'll look at the latest proposals added to the discussion phase, but also the ones that have been launched as an active referendum. We're not going to talk about the voting state right now because there is nothing new. So the ones that were passing the last time are still passing, and the ones that were failing are still failing. So when we'll see changes there, then I will be mentioning those as well. But let's kick it off here with proposal 1959 in the discussion phase, and this is by user Baraukian, who doesn't actually have any address here. It's just a random username, and this is just a suggestion. They're not requesting funding. It's a proposal to add a new governance track, reduce the circulation of DOT, empower the people, create excitement within the Polkadot community, attract developers, and maximize the use of the treasury. Now, it is a very long article, so we're not going to read the whole thing. You can check it out yourself if you want. I'll be posting a link in the description. The initial sale bid is also quite interesting, so have a read of that. Also, governance. This is just basically him explaining the whole system and how it works. But what we want to talk about is the solution statement that he wants to propose. Now, he's saying that Polkadot should start to use its treasury to partially become a decentralized VC provider. And I think there are game theoretical and regulatory ways to do this correctly. See the steps below. So the first step is that we would set aside a small amount of treasury funds to try this concept, let's say 5%. This would not break Polkadot's treasury or cause any long-term damage. The second step is that the teams requesting funds will do the following. A. Perform Know Your Business to ensure funds are being appropriated to non-restricted individuals and countries. This could be done through something like Kilt because of digital identity. B. The team will be asking for a 0% loan in dollar terms paid in DOT. By making a loan instead of it being free, the Treasury would recover at least some of its funds, assuming not a 100% failure rate. Further, we would set a 0% interest because we would not want to turn this into a profit venture for what are hopefully obvious reasons. And C, the team would be required to lock the entire team's holding as well as provide collateral through their token in a multi-sig. This could be done through something like Invarch. And D, open source their code and provide a permissive license so others in the Polkadot community could leverage their code. Polkadot does not want to be in a position where we pick winners and losers. And E, the team would provide an airdrop to the individuals who voted on the proposal, whether aye or nay, if it passes. They would decide how much, and then voters now receive compensation for their efforts. And this actually makes me think it could be linked to somebody from Totem Live Accounting, because if you remember from the last video, the team did say that they're going to be giving out an airdrop to both aye voters and nay voters as long as the proposal passes. So it makes me think it could be linked to that team, but again, not guaranteed because we can't prove it here. Now, voters would require to lock their DOT for 2 years and you would not be eligible for staking. However, they could use that locked DOT to vote on other funding programs. This way, voters get paid for their services, but they must vote wisely because there's an opportunity cost to not being able to stake and a limited amount of funds to be disbursed. Like I noted above, it would be 5% starting off. This solution would reduce the supply of DOT, increase existing staking rewards, create funding programs for developers, encourage more governance participation, create exciting airdrops, and prevents whales from blowing up proposals unless they're willing to lock their DOT and forego staking rewards. Further, there is limited risk given we would initially keep the amount available for disbursement to 5% of the treasury. We would want a lawyer's opinion as well. So yeah, I guess this could work out. I mean, it's an interesting proposal for sure. It's definitely something new that we haven't seen before. It's an interesting initiative that this person has here with this proposed solution, but I'm just not sure that this is going to be voted in favor simply because it's mostly the whales controlling the game at the moment. So the whale is likely going to vote nay on something like this because they obviously don't want to lose that power. I mean, if you were a whale, would you want to lose your power or would you want to continue having it because you've invested so much in the ecosystem? So there's a high possibility here that although this solution does look pretty good, I don't think that it's going to get approved. And do read the rest of this post as well because it is quite interesting if you want to learn about the whole background at Polkadot and the whole situation with governance and how it works. Next, we're going to look at an active referendum here. This is referendum 209, and this is a proposal that is for retroactive funding by DotInsights, which is a research hub and data platform for Polkadot and Kusama. This is the team behind Sub Wallet, which is one of the third-party mobile and desktop wallets for the Polkadot ecosystem. And they've launched this platform called DotInsights, where they basically provide us quarterly reports of what's going on in the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystems. So it does take a lot of work to provide these reports, but what they're doing is they're gathering this data which is provided by other teams such as Subsquid, such as Polkadot themselves. So they're using different analysis tools to obtain this data, but then they're putting everything together. They're requesting 42,650 DOT for their effort. And this is for funding of milestones 1, 2, and 3 during the period from June 2022 to August 2023. There's a video as well, which is pitching the whole proposal, and also the full proposal link. We'll take a look at some of that as well because it's quite interesting. But yeah, this is the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem map. And this map is actually really good to show as an example to people who still think Polkadot is dead and who think that nothing is building on Polkadot because they just don't see this information. So this map is actually quite good, for those people. And here you could see what has been achieved by the DotInsights team. So the Polkadot deep dive report of the first half of 2022, then the one from Q3 of 2022, Q4, and then Q1, 2, and 3 from 2023, and also the first half of 2023. So you could see that these guys have been producing these deep dives for quite some time now, and they're just looking to be paid. They're also saying that they've got 17,000 unique users based on Google Analytics, and from a social media perspective, DotInsights has attracted more than 2 million impressions with an engagement rate always at a high average of around 3%, which is a good engagement rate, and a good engagement rate is between 1 and 5% after 1 year of release. Also, a recent survey carried out by Filippo Franchini, who's the technical educator at the Web3 Foundation, who I've had on this channel, by the way, shows that DotInsights is the most popular platform for the community to stay up to date about Polkadot, and this is around 37.7% in terms of popularity. Also, ever since its launch, DotInsights has been recognized widely by the Polkadot community, ecosystem teams, and the broader Web3 communities, and DotInsights is credited on the Polkadot Wiki, support page, and Polkadot Hacker Guide as a reliable source for learning about the Polkadot ecosystem. So this is just more information here with regards to the campaigns that they've held, and they haven't been paying apparently for any of these campaigns to get to these Twitter impressions that they've gotten. Apparently this was all organic, and then there's a lot of community feedback that they got here as well. They likely reached out to these people to be able to get this feedback, because who's going to give you feedback if you don't reach out to them? Most of the time it's not going to happen, so they likely did that just to be able to create this proposal. But again, this team is doing a good job. I mean, I have been following them for quite some time now. Let's look at what's going on here with the retroactive proposal. So they're looking for $158,400, and this is with the current price of DOT at the moment. And this is the video that I was talking about, where you could also watch this and find out more about what they've done. The budget details here, so you could see research and data entry from all the ecosystems. They've worked 1,200 hours for this over the course of the whole period, of course, to provide this, and they're charging $30 an hour for this. Also, for the UX and UI design, they're charging $50 an hour, and they've spent 80 hours on that. Coding in HTML, 112 hours. $50 an hour for that as well. So for the report, $70 an hour here, as you can see. And this is not mentioning if it was just one person or multiple people here. So it could be that there were multiple people, maybe 2 or 3 people working on this. And so the hourly cost would be split in that case, which would seem fairer than if this was just a single individual asking for this. But yeah, I mean, it's they've done a great job. They've provided very, very detailed report, and here we could see how the report actually looks like as well. This is just an example of one of the reports. Okay, this is the graph here, and they're mentioning the source as well, sentiment, the token holder and investor section. You could see the governance and treasury section here as well, treasury output, the DeFi economy, TVL, DEX, lending and borrowing, stablecoin. So yeah, they're basically gathering everything together and then putting it all into one report. But again, this was data provided by other sources. So just to make that clear, because here you could see all the different sources of where they're getting this data from, but it does take time to create something like this and to put it all together for the community. And here you could see the full team as well, who they're collaborating with, all the different parachain teams and teams building on the ecosystem. Would I vote aye for this? Yeah, absolutely. I would vote aye because they've been providing valuable reports, so I do think that this is a fair request. Given that they've worked so hard for so long, and they do have quite a team as well. But yeah, let's take a look at what's to be awarded here in the DOT Treasury, because this amount does change every single time that a referendum gets approved. So 157,220 DOT worth approximately 603K has been approved. And then with the spend period, there are 9 days and 16 hours left before that payout which is to be awarded, and also the burn is gonna happen. But yeah, that's gonna be on Halloween day, so there's still some time left. That's it from today's short OpenGov video, and I'll see you again tomorrow.